Hey, what's up boys? In this video, I'm going to show you a couple different locations that you can really cover some huge distances from the brush with Rengar, and really utilize his passive to the best of his ability when you're in the jungle. One of the things that makes Rengar the champion he is his passive, and in order to play him optimally, you really need to utilize it as best as you can. So first and foremost, if you're going to make a jump to somewhere, you need vision. Obviously, you can't just go into the fog of war, so if you're going to attempt any of these jumps, make sure you've got a ward on you if you can do it handy. But the first place I'm going to show you is the jump to the purple side blue buff. There's some pretty easy jumps and some are a little bit harder to make. I'm going to start off with the easier ones. So this one, you just get in the brush that I'm standing in right now, and really all you have to do is go and then click on the buff, except you need to be in a position in the brush where you're not at the top. You need to be a little further out to the left rather than up, if that makes sense at all. So I'm going to show you, if I'm right here and then click on the buff, I walk all the way around, but if I'm a little bit further down, like, the marginal distance that it is actually is pretty important. And see, now I can jump to the buff and I can take it like that. These jump routes are really good for escapes or juking or picks or whatever. And that is one that I've used a ton of times. Let's go on. Inversely, this is what it looks like making the jump to the blue buff from on the other side of the map from the river. Now this jump's a little bit trickier because the way that it feels Rengar's passive kind of works is you can click outside of the brush and then onto a target, and the second that you're not in the brush anymore and you're actually visible, you still have a very small time frame to jump. So see, if this one, even if I'm positioned in a good place in the brush and I go to click on it, you see the circle's a little bit out of range. So what you need to do for this one is click and then click outside the brush and then make the jump to it. I don't know if you were able to see that again. Or I don't know if you were able to see that. I'll do it again just to be sure. But so I'm gonna say this one more time. You need to get out of the brush. You need to click just a little bit outside of the brush where I am right now, and then you quickly need to move your cursor over to the buff. So I'll show you what that looks like again. See, it takes some practice, but once you get it, you really get the hang of it. Now, on this side of the map, you can also, if the blue buff is going to reset, you can make the jump pretty easily from this bush right here, with a lot minimal effort. Like, you don't need to position yourself in the brush at all, you can just straight up jump to it. Okay, so the reason I didn't show you this jump at the beginning is because it's a lot like the jumps you have to make on this side of the jungle, where you need to click outside of the brush and then onto the blue buff. This one is actually pretty hard without any bonus movement speed on you. I've just got tier 1 boots right now. It's going to be a lot harder. I don't know if it's even actually possible without boots at all. But the same ordeal, you have to walk outside of the brush and click on the outside and then make the jump. This one, it's not that much more difficult than the other ones you have to do with the same style, but it is a little bit trickier. You can also make the jump from this brush right here into the wolf camp. You just need to do the thing where you click right outside the brush and then onto the wolves, and it should look something like this. Okay, so this one should be pretty obvious, but just in case you really need to cover some distance, this one gets you over a wall pretty quickly with minimal effort, and you don't need to practice this jump at all. It's pretty easy, just in case you didn't know about it. Now, when you get 6 stacks on your bone tooth necklace, which increases your leap range by 125 units, and also if you decide to buy boots of mobility, these jumps, not only do they become a lot easier, but there are also a couple of new jumps that are available to you that weren't before. So for this, now that you have those two, you don't have to do any work for that jump. There's a jump up here. You can jump from the wraith, from the tri-bush, on the top and bottom sides of the map to the white camp. And also, you are able to make this jump to the wolves. Before, you're not able to do that, but with boots of mobility and 6 stacks on your bone tooth necklace, then you can make this jump too. You can make this jump too. There you go, yeah. Another jump you can make that isn't exactly the most practical, but it is possible, and I'm sure under some way you can find out a way that it'll come in handy, but for the most part, this one's pretty hard to get, and it's not going to help you out too much, like I said, but it is possible. So you can jump from this brush that I'm in right now into the red buff. You just have to It's a lot easier if you aim for the smaller lizards than the big one. And this is what it looks like on the other side of the map. Okay, so these next couple of jumps are super important to learn. They're jumps from Brush to the Baron and Dragon Pit respectively. The first one is from this brush outside of the red buff, and by the way, now that you have your stacks and your bone tooth, you can actually just boop, make the jump to red buffs from each side of the map. But that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is Dragon and Baron. So what you want to be doing is, it kind of sucks because you do need your boots mobility to be active, so you can't really make an escape off of this if you're already in combat. And this jump is actually pretty tricky, but it's another one of those things where just muscle memory, once you get it, it's not so hard. Again, you need a ward on Dragon, you need to be in this bush, you need to step outside, and then make the jump to it. This one, it looks like it could be easy, but like, it's one of these things where just go into a bot game like I'm in right now, just test it out, wait until you get it right. You can also make the jump from this brush that I'm in right here into the Dragon Pit by doing the same thing with stepping out. This one is actually pretty difficult. You step out of the brush, and then you can go get the Baron or Dragon. So now let's go up to Baron. So you're not actually able to make it to the Baron from this brush that I'm in right now, because the way the map's set up and the way the oh! I stand corrected. We learn something new every day. So, duly noted, you can make the jump from this brush into Baron Pit. Oh, holy moly. I don't know how I did that. Like that, I guess. Okay, shit. Okay, so in that time I was dead, I got Alacrity enchantments for my boots, and I'm gonna use the active on my Ghost Blade just for good measure. Now, I mean, theoretically, yeah, this works, but if you're going in to try and steal a Baron, normally as Rengar, you just use your ultimate and jump in like that. So this isn't very practical, but I mean, it works, I guess. You can also, the reason why I came here is you can make the jump from this brush that I'm in right now into the Baron Pit, in a similar way that you make this jump. But this one is a little bit harder. You almost have to act as if you're walking up to this wall before you click on the Baron. So you walk up to that and then click on the Baron, and you can jump over to it. Alright, so that's actually all of the jumps that I know about. If there are any that I missed, or if you know any ones that I didn't cover, let me know, because I'm actually curious if there are any more. But anyways, that's my time. Thanks for watching.